What are you saying, ladies and gentlemen? We are your hosts, Osama and Mohammed, coming back with another banger.
Welcome back to another episode of Ways. My name is Mohammed, here with the lovely co-host Osama. Osama, how are you doing today?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. I'm good. Blessed. Kind of warm today. I'm kind of glad. A little bit warm. And when I say warm,
What do you mean warm?
warm. I see. I got it's warm for for the winter.
I don't know, because yesterday was the worst snowstorm. Like, it was insane. The amount of snow that was
I
pouring
know.
yesterday. And the funny thing is, it's going to continue tomorrow and Tuesday, apparently. So, okay. Hopefully, it's not as bad as yesterday.
Listen, man. I say we move to a warmer. When you were in Ghana almost a year ago, you must have been blessed.
It was a dream. It didn't feel like a vacation, obviously, because when you're in, when you live in a place like Canada, as we all know, from like November to like early March, very tough. Weather is really excruciating. But in a place like Ghana, during the exact same month period in Japan, yeah, to be in the weather that's like ranging from 27 degrees and up, 27 to 35 degrees on a daily basis, Celsius wise, was incredible. Incredible. Miss it. Can't wait to have that feeling all over again. But
That's amazing. And with that being said, what's so funny?
no, we didn't even introduce the show for like the new, because there's always new listeners, right? So obviously, the people who already listen to us, they
That's
know.
very true.
Follow us, follow us on Ways at Ways 2.0, our Instagram page. Follow Osama at his page at Kusa300. You can follow myself at Muhammad.global. New episodes every Wednesday, Ways Wednesday. Make sure to contact, hit us up, let it. If you want to listen to us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, as well as Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, and other various platforms. Once again, thank you to everyone for the love, support, and feedback. And we only continue to grow despite everything that comes your way. Something that's called like,
What'd you say in the end?
what did I say?
What did you say, bro? You said something, but I didn't even catch it.
No, I said like, thank you for everything that comes. I said thank you for everything, for the love, support, and all that stuff, despite what comes your way, whether hardships, hurdles, and stuff, through this thing called life.
Oh, interesting. Well, speaking about life, life is good. No, I guess pun intended. And we have a beautiful topic for you guys. This topic was actually supposed to drop a while ago.
A while.
However, a while ago, and also we were like, you know what? Muhammad spoke to me. He's like, yo, this topic has to be spoken about when we're both in the right mindset. It has to be a beautiful topic. And with that being said, I'm gonna give Muhammad the yeah, start it up, bro.
Number one, people, I told Osama, because the original date was supposed to record this episode. I was really, really tired. And I told him, like, yo, man, for such an important topic, I got to be like 100%, man. I give it my all, I got to represent. You know how black people do. We got to represent no matter what. Uh, Unfortunately, that's not the case right now. I'm not 100%. But at the same time, it's life. And with such a topic, I am passionate. So my energy is there, even though obviously it's not there. But I'm going to make sure you guys give you what you want. And obviously, I got to represent no matter what pertaining to the topic itself. And today's topic is about Black History Month. Why? It's because something that should be not only brought up and celebrated and also discussed amongst everyone. But Black History Month is really. Can I get real, Osama?
Yeah, bro. Hold on. Before you say what you're gonna say, this is the realest podcast ever and will ever be. So yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the funny thing is, as you all know, like everyone that follows me on social media and everything, like people know when it's Black History Month, I go off. Like I'm showing pictures, videos, all these different things, discussions, articles, video debates, the whole nine about Black history, the culture, and everything. But I don't only do that during Black History Month itself. I pretty much do that throughout the whole year, pretty much. I do like here and there and stuff, like at least once to twice a week for the most part on my social media platforms. But during Black History Month, I go off. Today is February 14th, Osama, and I haven't posted one single post yet about Black History Month. Isn't that weird?
Really? 14
Have you
days?
noticed?
Actually, yeah, that is weird. I actually have noticed. And you know why? So I want to add on. You said something that kind of stuck a core with me. Which is definitely true because I obviously been following each other on social media for a while now. So, guys, for the past almost a couple of years, 3-4 years now since
Yeah.
I've reconciled with you, you've always posted stuff about your heritage or black people and just like your moguls such as Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, the list goes on. But my question is, why haven't you been posting?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, everyone knows, and usually everyone's like anticipating, but this is the first year that I haven't posted anything, and it's a weird feeling. Number one, the reason why I haven't posted anything is because life just got in the way. So many things just came into my, I guess you could say, timely schedule that I just got swept under the rug. And it's not that I didn't have time to post it on social media and stuff because I've been doing it every year, so it's pretty easy for me. It's one thing to do it, but I didn't want to do it just to do it. Like for me, it's all about if I'm gonna put something out there for you to learn, I'm gonna put a whole story behind it, the person's name and everything. I'm gonna go the whole 9 yards. But the fact that I've just been so swamped with all these different things, I just didn't have the same amount of passion and excitement and energy. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to belittle my history, Osama, so to say. Like if I'm gonna post something about like Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Marcus Garvey, I'm gonna do it to a degree that I'm passionate about. I'm not gonna just post a picture like, hey, here's something like ta-da. Like, no, that's not me. So for me, it's like, you know what? Like I'll do it when I can, and I know I want to do it, but I just haven't had the chance. And at the same time, to be honest, it's like with COVID, this is like the first year everyone's home. Well, it was technically last year, but it's like the first time everyone's home and actually is like used to it and stuff. So I don't know. It's weird. It's like, man, I feel as if like I don't want to do it this year. Not that I don't want to do it or anything. It's just that like since I'm just so swamped with what I have to do right now, I'm just gonna take a step back and let others do what I usually do. And then next year I'll come back with full force. But for this year, for this month, I just don't have the energy and just the oomph that I usually have to just put it out there, And I don't want to do a disservice by going 20%, 30%. Like I want to go the whole 9 yards. If I can't do that, then I'm just gonna take a step back and let others do it. Simple.
Which is kind of funny because the episode that was supposed to drop, that didn't drop. But I guess we'll give them a sneak peek. The topic would have been spoke about pain, and we spoke about how you think much more. You think much more clearly when you're obviously not in pain. And obviously, with you, if you're gonna put all your heart into something, obviously Black History is an important month for everybody. Specifically, it's Muslims, Christians. Like it should be an important month for everybody. A lot of Black moguls, Black influential figures who have definitely paved the way for all of these athletes, presidents, everybody's here. There's a reason why this is all happening. And again, I feel that this should not be forgotten. And for you to say again, like. It was weird. Like you saying that right now got me thinking. I'm like, damn. Like, why hasn't he? Like, had you not said that statement, I thought you would. I thought I was like, it would have been as normal.
But and I know a lot of people are probably wondering. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So no, go on. I'll ask my question. What were you gonna say though?
Your question. It's probably the thing I was about to say. Your question. So.
You put some pressure on me, bro.
No. But the question you're gonna ask me, I know is what I was probably about to say, or something related to it. So, you might as well ask me your question.
Okay, so here's the question, right? You obviously said that you haven't been posting about Black History Month, right?
Yeah.
And now Black History Month, we know how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
How do you believe? So why do you believe people like? Do you believe? Have you seen people posting? Watch people post? How do you think people, aside from posting, what should people do, or like how should they go out of their way and celebrate this important month, mind you? Because a lot of I don't care who you listen to, whether it's sports, whether it's like politics, there's someone who's a Black influential figure that you definitely have to know who he or she is.
That's a good question. Totally good question. And to be honest, Osama, that's the reason why I used to go so hard during Black History Month, because it's one of those months. It's like, okay, we know Obviously, you guys struggled. You guys went through so many different things. Yeah, I might like I don't know watch a video here and there, but that's pretty much it. If I'm a person who's not black, either I'm gonna do that due diligence and actually look into your history, or just like a few pictures here and there, and that's it and stuff, right? So I understand. Now, I think with last year, 2020, with such a year, such an impactful year, and obviously with the uprising, with the protesting that happened in America, most importantly, right after George Floyd's death, it really sparked the interest
Yes.
of the American public, especially the youth, that everything we've been saying about, we've been preaching about, and that we've been talking about and discussing about and revealing through these pictures during this month, it finally made sense to the American people after the protesting and the revolution that happened with those 3 to 4 months during that summer in 2020. So I think because of that and all that momentum from that day up till now, this is really the first Black History Month, Osama, where everyone's actually like in tuned into what the month actually is as far as the value. It's the first time that Black History Month is really seen more than just Black History Month. It's seen as Black History. We're sorry. We're here to make it up to you now. What do you want from us? That's how I feel.
Yeah. So I have a two-part question. Actually, one's a statement.
Okay.
I believe every month should be a Black. I think every month should be celebrated Black History Month. For me, definitely an important month. But I feel just because you go into a different month doesn't mean you gotta forget the Black influences who have paved the way.
The world.
Shaped the world, paved the way. Look, tell me if I'm saying something wrong. Like, you obviously are from Ghana. You're obviously Black. For everyone that doesn't know, that should know.
I'm obviously Black.
So tell me. Sorry.
No, I'm obviously Black.
Unless someone's like, listen to this, like, yo, what's Mohammed? But yeah, obviously for everyone that doesn't know and who doesn't follow us on Instagram or social media, Mohammed's from Ghana, Africa. He's Black. He's from Toronto, and I say this not because he's my buddy, my longtime friend and business partner, but I say this because Black History Month should be celebrated every single month. The Black influences have shaped the world and have definitely paved the way for a lot of people, regardless of who you are, to be in that stage that you are, right? So my question is to you, because you spoke about George Floyd, all the protests. The first part of the question is, do you believe that part of the protest, I don't want to say necessarily stopped you from posting about George Floyd, but you want to see the impact that people can do, aside from like the Black people, they want to see like non-Black people see what they can do. And two, do you feel the protest shaped people's minds differently looking at Black History Month?
The funny thing is, the first part of your question, like, not only did we post about George Floyd, that's when we started our podcast. I believe George Floyd is actually our second episode, right? It was the second or third episode.
I think it was the third episode. So second episode was obviously Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Third episode. Yeah.
Episode 3 and 4 was mainly focused on the George Floyd incident. So the thing is, people, when we started our podcast, we were so excited to start Waste 2.0 because it's the new version of the show that you guys already knew and love. And we wanted to give you guys so much content. But at the same time, with that event, that tragic event, we couldn't ignore what was going on because it legit, the world stopped just to pay attention to what happened, particularly to this man, and also the feelings that us as Black people go through on a daily basis. How could you not talk about that? How could you just ignore something so powerful, so significant, and so meaningful at a time where our history has been ignored for the past 400 plus years? So when the melting pot finally occurred with George Floyd's death, you had to talk about it, or you should never talk again in your life, period. So for us at Ways, we knew that, hey, we want to talk about all these different topics, period, bro. Either you talk about it or you don't talk at all. Whether you talk again, I'm not going to respect you. I'm not going to want to hear from you ever again in your life. Why? Because when it comes to different matters and to different races, we will address it accordingly as it should be. But for something like this was the tipping point. We just had enough. Whether you're a racist person or you didn't like Black people or you just had one Black friend, when you saw that video of that man with a cop kneeling on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds or 44 seconds, how could you not sympathize for a human being losing his life? Not a Black person, a human being. So Black History Month is simply acknowledging us as human beings first. The skin is just the second part, but obviously, I'm just going on a tangent. Yeah.
No, but yo, listen, dude. Dude, what do you mean you're going on a tangent? This is definitely look. If you're coming to Ways, you're coming to hear some real stuff.
Facts.
Like this is definitely an important topic, and I believe specifically for just society now. Like for example, like you bring up a good point with the George Floyd situation. I was one of those few people that I don't believe everything should be posted on social media all the time. I want to go talk to my friends personally before I post anything on social. I wanted to see like, yo, like, I'm not black, obviously, but I'm here. You're my brothers. Like, in my head, I was like, yo, what if that was my friend? Like, what? Like, dude, we said this last time on our podcast.
Yep.
Someone lost a friend. Someone lost a son. Someone lost a dad. Someone lost boom, 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 boom. Right?
Exactly.
This is not about a black person, a white person. Like, bro, a human being was innocently killed by an action that was he wasn't reprimanded for it. He got away with it. And two, it was disgusting to see that you were staring at something of an unjustly matter. Now, again, Muhammad said in the podcast in episode 3, if you go back, we're not saying the police are bad people. No, we're not. We're saying that at the time he said that there should be better training implemented so this stuff will never ever happen again. The beauty about the beauty about the Black History Month, is one, I don't care if you like sports, the greatest basketball players are black. Politicians, advocates, black. Boxers, black. And a lot of those times, by the way, like not now, talking about in the 60s, 70s, where they had to fight to get things to go their way. Had Muhammad Ali, not like I was actually reading his story, a beautiful story, Muhammad Ali, no one believed he'd be a good boxer. No one did. And now he's the greatest boxer in the whole wide world. Malcolm X, he changed his life from where he was to him converting to Islam and then him trying to make peace within the black community. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, which, by the way, I want to bring up because in episode 3, we're in episode 54, or no, I'm not sure what episode this would be because this is coming out later, but this episode, go back to episode 3, and you shocked me when you said this. I want to hear your opinion and how you feel about it now. You said that the Martin Luther King speech came full circle around George Floyd's time.
Yeah.
Do you remember you saying that?
Yep, I remember.
Talk about that.
I remember. Thank you. The reason why it wasn't until that moment, as a person who was black that grew up in North America, whether Canada or America, any part of these states, when you're growing up in such a system where you're being marginalized, whether through the educational system, the political system, and obviously the digital system as well, you see all these different factors and shapes and forms that's taken against you on a daily basis. Number one, you grow up knowing that you are a human being first, and you should be treated equally as a human being. But the thing is, when we grow up, the first thing that we're told on a daily basis is that we're black. And not only are we black, but we are black according to a word that starts with the end and the ending with the ER. Harsh. For no reason, subjugated to history that was imposed on us, something that we didn't ask for when we were brought to this land. And obviously, the things that we did to build this nation, we weren't accounted for or given return in value to our hard due diligence over 400 years. But that aside, we still live, we still prosper, and we still do what we do because we are who we are as a group of people. So when you see what happened to George Floyd, normally when something happens to someone that is black and goes through an unfortunate killing, especially when it comes to police relations, we obviously are frustrated, upset, and we want justice to be taken into measures. But every time this happens and we're always ignored and we're protesting and you see these cops and they're always trying to shut down or protesting and politicians decide to ignore us, it only causes us to be more frustrated, more annoyed. And we always end up with, when is this going to end? When is people finally going to listen to us and rise up with us? We can't do it by ourselves. We need everyone to do it with us. So when I finally saw George Floyd, Osama,
oh my God,
I realized it was the first time that I saw people of different races who were not black, old, adults, teenagers, children, marching to the beat of justice and unity in strength or even harder than us, even ourselves. And it was to the point, and it was so special and so powerful that it caused a shift in perception as opposed to nature amongst all races, it caused a shift in the thinking of assessment when it comes to police relations amongst minorities. It caused a shift in the concept of love, knowing that I'm going to protect you and you're going to protect me no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're white or black. We're in this together. And when I saw that, Dr. King's 1963 speech, March on Washington, I have a dream, and what he utilized and the vision that he saw, I realized that came into fruition when I saw those protesting during those months around the summer of 2020 with George Floyd's death.
I want to go back to something you said about how other races stood up around the time. Before that time, they weren't standing up, and after that time, everybody from different races were like, "No, this is wrong," and such and such. And I want to touch on that because I'm obviously Arab, and I believe that you don't have to be from a certain race or ethnic group to stand up for. You don't have to stand up. Doesn't matter where you are. You got to stand up for other people because if your intuition is telling you something is wrong, go stand up. Because, for example, if you're like, I don't know, if you're like Indian, and obviously we know what's happening right around the world within India, you'd hope that your friends who are not Indians are going out of their way to talk to you, seeing how they can help, stuff like that. And about this around the time George Floyd, the first thing I legit did is spoke to all my friends. I'm like Mohammed being one of them, my other buddies. I'm like, yo, and I said, yo, I'm here. I understand. Let me know if I'm able. And you know what's funny too is not even funny. What's I guess so cool about this podcast is episode 3 for everybody that was supposed to be actually a whole different topic. I'm not sure if you ever mentioned that before. And I remember Mohammed came up to me and we were about to record, maybe I want to say a week or a couple of days before, he's like, bro, because we started when the George Floyd situation was going on, but we thought it would and it got worse and got worse, and then we're like, yo, there's no way we can stop and not talk about this. Because and after that, just recently, something happened with the girl, I forget was it Breonna Taylor? Right after that, and everybody, things started piling up, and we're like, bro, and I remember Muhammad came out to us there's no way we're going to be quiet about that. Some disrespect. He's like, forget the topic we're supposed to talk about. This is what we're going to talk about. I was like, I don't care. We put all the promotions already on the episode. He's like, I don't care. He's like, we're surprising people with this episode, which we did. Ended up being one of our most touching, most beautiful episodes. If you are not black, you still have the right. You still have to go out of your way. I don't care if you have black friends or you don't. This is about a right. This is not about a friendship. This is about a right. What if that was you? Always ask the question yo, what if that was me? Do I want someone else to be helping me? And for me, that's how I think. I'm like, I thought of my black friends, my brothers. I can see these guys brothers to me. I'm like, yo, if that was my guy right there and he did nothing, I'm going to go. I don't care if it's risking my life. I'm going to go help this guy because at the end of the day, that's what brothers do. And that's what family does, mind you. So I want to it stresses me enough that people have to think of every single month that yo, if I'm going to be an athlete, there are people who paved the way for me to have an easier outcome, easier route. Because mind you, Muhammad, and I guarantee you're going to agree with this, a lot of people now would not have even survived in the 60s or 70s. I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about their mental state. And those people, you name them by heart. Name them by heart. They paved the way, not only for black people, for non-black people as well. And they had heart because they had a vision and they wanted to implement that vision for everybody else.
Number one, the topic itself is about Black History Month. And obviously we're talking about black people, why the month is significant, and how to move forward. And when we're talking about this, people realize we're not saying that black people are the only group that are being marginalized or oppressed on a daily basis. There's other peoples of different races and also different cultures and ethnics that are being oppressed and marginalized as well. And the funny thing is, we understand and we acknowledge them, and we actually plan on having guests on the show in the future to talk about different experiences that they went through and their culture and their race as well.
Yeah.
So I just want to get that across because you're gonna have people like that, oh my God, why is it always about black people?
Yeah.
No, if you study history
and
you listen to what's going on right now, it's not only about us; it's about everyone.
And can I, exactly. And can I just say one thing to that? First of all, we've spoken about basically a lot of issues in the past, so many episodes that we've spoken about. Two, getting tired of people taking away the moment. This is the Black History moment, not anybody else's moment. There's a month for Muslims, a month for like women, there's a month, boom, 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 boom. So right now, if you're listening, the reason why we're talking about it right now is because one, we believe it's important, and two, it's an amazing topic, and three, it's also education for you guys who don't know as much. Maybe you can come here and learn. Eventually, if you feel like, for example, your people want to be heard about, by all means, hit me, Muhammad, up and say, hey, I love your content. I want to come on and I want to speak about this. Okay, cool. We'll make it work. But I'm not gonna sit here and like lie to say that. Nah, bro. This is a beautiful month, and it's funny enough that whoever gets mad can get mad. I don't care. If you're coming to listen to me, Muhammad, you're coming to listen to some truth. That's it. We do our best to hit every single point. We do our best to be funny. We do our best to be knowledgeable. We do our best to be pop culture, whatever the thing is to be. But when we talk about something serious, we'll give it its 100% love and information, because I'm not going to talk about something else when right now we're talking about this topic, which deserves its full attention. So yeah,
Thank you, Osama. I appreciate that. And yeah, once again, just going back to Black History Month in itself, I just feel like this month I don't really want to post anything on social media. And it's just a personal choice. At this point, it's already day 14. If anything comes around, I'll definitely do what I usually do every single year. But this year, I just feel like taking a step back, focusing on myself. And not only when I focus on myself, taking time to reflect on the history that my people had went through leading up to this moment, and knowing how I'm a part of that to
yeah,
push where we're supposed to
I,
go forward with integrity, understanding, and clarity at all times. Now,
yeah. I have I have a few questions for you. I have a few questions for you. So we got
ask,
pretty
ask away.
real in the first 30 minutes. What is something you want? What is something that people that they wouldn't know about Black History Month that you would want to tell them, and that like what's the key message that you want to tell everybody, like to look out for, things that they can do to like not like what's one thing that people would not normally know about Black History Month that's so beautiful and like important to know, and like maybe it can help them out with their life. Who knows? What's one thing you could say?
The easiest thing about Black History Month, people, is because if you're a person who's not black, obviously, you know about this month, you hear about it every single year, so it might be confusing, and you're like, okay, what do I do? I want to know about Black history, but I don't know who to talk to. I don't want to be like, hey, Jamal, tell me something about Michael Jordan. And then it becomes awkward and stuff, right? So I know a lot of people, they don't know how to like introduce the topic to their black friends or co-workers and stuff like that. Number one thing is black people ourselves, not only do we love the month, we want to celebrate those that are forgotten. All right. So if you have something to ask us, by all means, ask us. Just be like, hey, um, I don't know anything about like black history, but I love baseball. Is there anyone in baseball that's like famous, that's black, that I could like, I don't know, watch a documentary or should know about? And if the person knows, Hank Aaron. The person will tell you that Hank Aaron was one of the most significant and prolific baseball players of all time. He actually held the record for the most amount of home runs until Barry Bonds later broke it on another black person. So, whatever field that you're interested in, whether it's basketball, baseball, the field of science, art, poetry, musician, like music, all these different things, photography, Gordon Parks, like there's all these different arts that we've excelled in and that we've pushed the culture and the art itself forward. So if you're a person who loves photography and you want to know about black culture and you don't know who to talk to, probably talk to someone that's in your circle, in the industry, and they'll tell you someone that's of reverence in that place that did their part over a
Yeah.
period of time so you can learn more. So it makes you
Question number two. Aside from the black influences and advocates and the beautiful people that we know, who are five other people that you're able to give people who have definitely changed the way of life that we know today? Or you can do three, either or, three or five people that you believe who are not necessarily taught about, but these people are as important, if not equal.
the five forgotten people. Beautiful question. I need to think about that. Obviously, we talk about the great ones always, but we don't talk about those that are often forgotten. The number one person, the five people, five people. That's a beautiful
So funny.
question.
Man,
I
listen,
wish
I have more
I
questions to hit you with if you're ready.
no. I wish I knew that question before. Obviously, my mind state's not that perfect right now, but who cares? I think I could give a crap less. I gotta do it. I
So
gotta do it up,
hold on.
right? I got your answer. I got your answer.
All
You
right,
ready?
bet.
I got
All
it.
right, let's
Number
go.
one, first person, Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson, the legendary actor. Paul Robeson was one of the greatest actors of all time, very prolific in films and as far as live plays from the 1940s until the 1960s. Not only was he a famous actor because of his voice, which was very commanding and very present, and also because of his stature and how tall he was, not only because of how amazing he was as an actor, was the fact that he fought for civil rights. He fought for civil rights at a time where a lot of black actors and athletes and people in the entertainment industry were really scared. He's one of the first people to really put his life out there on the line. And he went to so far that when he was advocating for rights beyond black people, Osama, he was talking about people who were struggling in the Soviet Unions and Palestine and different places around the
Yeah.
world. Because of that, he was deported. He was outcasted by our society. The American public thought that he was a disgrace.
Damn, for
Yes,
real?
bro. Beautiful story, beautiful story. And he actually left America, and he I think he didn't live. He left America and he was gone for roughly 10 to 20 years before he came back at an older age. But Paul Robeson, his story is one of the most beautiful stories of all time. So when you talk about Denzel Washington, when you talk about Will Smith, when you talk about Daniel Kumalai or Donald Glover and all these amazing black actors that you look up to now, it all starts from Paul Robeson.
Yeah.
He was the first person to really put his life on the line for us. So Paul Robeson, thank you so much. And if you're a person who wants to know about black history, mainly from the arts, especially from acting and film and live theater, Paul Robeson is the name you must start with. I repeat, Paul Robeson is the name you must start with. Thank you.
I like that. Actually, you taught me something. You taught me something. So
I pulled that out, bro. 'Cause and that's the thing is like usually I go extra hard every Black History Month, but
yeah, hold on. Hold on.
wait.
Let's clarify what you mean by pull out.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that pause. But what I meant to say is
Yo,
usually
let's
every
clarify,
someone's gonna take that word clip and just like sample it. It's too funny.
Someone's gonna say that's gonna be on 6 bus, bro. Anyways, all jokes aside, so that's number one. Do you want to do 2 more or 4 more?
Oh yeah, I could keep going. I could keep going, bro. I could keep going.
Okay,
Another
let's go.
person.
Let's
Another
go.
person that a lot of people might not know about, Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti is one of the most famous and most powerful musicians of all time. So when we talk about black musicians from the 1970s, 60s, and 80s, we always reference Bob Marley. Of course, salute. He did his time. He did his job, due diligence. We always reference James Brown. Of course, salute. He did his time. He did his thing. Reverence. But one person that you're missing from that time period, from the 70s, especially during that time in the 70s, Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti is a musician from Nigeria. He is the father of Afrobeats. So right now, everyone loves Afrobeats, right? You got Burna Boy, you got Wizkid, you got like all these guys, right? All these
Yes,
guys
sir.
are the sons of Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti was the first person that introduced this new sound to the world in the early 1970s. He grew up in Nigeria from a very wealthy family. His mother was a powerful teacher, Osama. She was the first woman to drive in Nigeria. That's how like powerful his family was. They were friends with the government, and he went to a high prestigious
Wow.
school. Wasn't a good student, so he actually wasn't doing well. But obviously, in Ghana in the late 1950s, we developed a music called High Life, and this music is really like upbeat, jovial, and happy going. Hearing these records, these early historic records, Fela Kuti developed a love for this music, and he felt he could take it further. So upon his parents' request, he actually set out to England, where he went to school. And while in England, he was actually introduced to different arts and different types of music, whether it was jazz, rock and roll, and just the blues. And through that, he was able to learn more about the black culture and struggle international-wise. Because that's where the Pan-Africanism comes into play. You're learning about the struggle that black people are actually going through in the other part of the world. And plus, you're from Africa's world.
Yeah.
Because of that, he knew how to fuse all that music together. So when he came back, Osama, he created a band called Fela Kuti and Africa 70. And this music, Osama, is pretty much, imagine James Brown. As we all know, James Brown is the godfather of soul, the hardest working man in soul business. Imagine that funk music that James Brown is known for, and imagine jazz, that beautiful jazz of like Miles Davis and John Coltrane. He was able to take those two mediums, those two pieces of art, and fuse it together with the spice of the Ghana high life in the 1950s. And with that, you created the architecture, the blueprint, the layers, the foundation for Afrobeats. And because of that, his band became pivotal, releasing albums, not only talking about music, but important themes such as love, respect, power for oneself, and also for Black people to know themselves and to be loved as far as the identity. Because once he learned about Malcolm X, he incorporated those themes into his music. And also, he was one of the first people to go against the government as well. Because the government was doing widespread corruption. They're doing a lot of domestic tactics against the people. And Fela Kuti stood up to them. And because of that, he was tortured a lot of times, beaten in the streets by the soldiers and by the government. And he kept fighting against the oppression of his people until the time of his death in, I believe, 1997. So Fela Kuti, godfather of Afrobeats. May you rest in power. I'm killing this, bro.
Bro, killing it, bro. That's an understatement, bro. I think you're
But
like
to be
going
honest,
above.
Osama, it's good that we're doing this because I guess maybe that's why I didn't talk about it. I didn't post anything on social media because I'm so used to this, and the history that I have for Black people, I guess like it's just gonna come out in another way. So just through this platform, I'm able to express it in a way I've never been able to do it before. You know.
I'm gonna tell you something, and I hope this inspires you to maybe go post some stuff about your beautiful heritage, and I hope this does inspire all the other Black people and anybody else. Actually, one day when we become the moguls and the entrepreneurs and the motivational speakers that we want to be, you're gonna have a lot of young Black people come up to you and say, "Hey, Muhammad, how can I do it?" And those are the people that should push you to go further and further and further. So remember that, because I believe that we both came from the early 2000s. One, around those times, obviously so much circumstances happened, us being Muslim and stuff like that. And two, we moved to a city where obviously it was as predominantly multicultural. So that's one thing we had to face. So all the stuff that we have to go through that 20 years later, we're here building this platform. Anybody that's looking up to you should be happy and say, wow, like Muhammad's taking a stand. He's doing a podcast. He's sharing his voice. So whoever hears this should be happy that, because a lot of people, by the way, and you know this, once they start doing a platform, they don't talk about their heritage. They don't talk about their ethnicity because they just want to make it big. But for me, it's not making it big. It's about making a change. Anybody can make it big, but not anyone can make a change.
I agree. I totally agree. And thank you once again. I totally agree. As far as time limit, we kind of have roughly about 12 minutes left. Yeah, so I'll give you one more.
So I'm leaving that for you.
I'll give you one more. But to be honest, like I'll do one more, and if the people really like it, hey, we can do this more in future episodes. If they want us to give out more people and throughout history, whether it's Black, anyone else, we can do that more. I totally love this. It's really beautiful. And as far as the final person, I'm trying to think. Give me an art form.
Hold up, before you say that, I'm gonna do it. Give me a what?
Oh, I got one. My last person.
Hold up, before you say it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, give me an
Don't
art
say the
form.
name, but art form.
I was gonna say, give me an art form, and I'll give you a powerful or significant Black person from the art form. But I just thought of the third person.
Okay, cool.
To acknowledge.
Before you say the name, I'm gonna do a drum roll. All right.
Okay.
Go. That was the worst drum roll ever.
Yeah, that was the worst. We can't. We have no sound effects. That's our drum roll.
Anyways, third but not least.
The third person I want to give power to is Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson. When you think about boxing, you think about Muhammad Ali. Obviously, you think about Mike Tyson. Obviously, you might think about Sugar Ray Leonard. Obviously, these are powerful boxers that have been known in the past 50 years or so, right? But before all those guys and those legendary names, even before Joe Louis, the most powerful and dominating and fearing person was a person named Jack Johnson. When I tell you, Osama, Jack Johnson is arguably like, bro, like his documentary, not only is it powerful and everyone should watch it, Jack Johnson is the best boxer you've never seen before. Why? Because he fought at a time. Number one, he was the first heavyweight champion of all time that was a black person. So before that time, boxing was dominated by the whites, as we all know, and they wouldn't allow black people to fight because obviously during that time, black people weren't seen as a human beings, and they had no respect and no rights.
Yeah.
And because of that, they wouldn't allow them to fight in those heavyweight bouts. Jack Johnson was a person that was so strong, so big, and he had a gold tooth. Actually, no, he got that gold tooth after he became champion. But he was so strong in his nature, and the way he fought was revolutionary because he had a wide stance, and he was able to lunge so quick and with so much power and agility at his size. Imagine like a Zion, but as a boxer, just like it's incredible. And because of that, when he
Jeez.
finally got his chance to fight, I believe it was 1907 or 1908, he finally won and became the first black heavyweight champion of the world. But obviously, because of that, it came with a lot of controversy. Jack Johnson, not only did he win, Osama, he used to humiliate his opponents in the ring. Because mind you, this is the time. This is not the civil rights era, people. This is Jim Crow era. This is right after slavery. Probably 40 years removed from slavery. So black people are still being lynched on a daily basis with ease. No reprimanding, no justice, no no jail time or anything. You could literally kill a person, a black person, with just a chant. With a mob, if you just get an angry mob to say that that black guy raped a girl, he's gonna be dead. So Jack Johnson to be dominating the way he was in the ring during that time period, it was insane. And because of the struggle that his people went through, he made sure to abuse his opponent in the ring, beating them to such a pulp and such a baby-like figure to let them know that no matter what you guys do and how much power you try to enforce on us, we are still powerful and we know who we are. And Osama, he was champion for a long time, for a really, really long time. It was roughly, like, believe, like 15 years. 14 to 15 years he had his title before he lost it.
Holy,
It's insane.
that's a record, bro.
And Osama, and because of that, he was really controversial, and he really did not care. He got a gold tooth in one of his upper teeth after he became champion. He flossed. He used to drive nice cars. He also married a white prostitute, which was really forbidden at that time.
What?
And he used to go around and do reckless things. And people like those.
That's funny.
They legit like every time there's a fight, it was like a mob of over 50,000 men. They would have to go through all their pockets to make sure there was no guns, arms, any type of weapons, because people were legit trying to kill him at will. And after he lost, when he finally lost, after 15 years of being champion, they disallowed black people from fighting again in the heavyweight title bouts until Joe Louis did it and became champion roughly like 20 to 30 years later when he beat the Russian guy, I believe in like 1937 or 1938. But Jack Johnson, powerful figure, one of the most revolutionary boxers. Because of him, it's the reason why you have a Joe Louis, you have a Sugar Ray Robinson, you have a Muhammad Ali, you have a Sonny Liston, you have a Mike Tyson, and the names goes on and on and on. You have a George Foreman, you got a Joe Frazier, you got like all these different cats, Marvin Hagler, all these greats. Man, it wouldn't have happened without Jack Johnson. So people, the three people I gave, Paul Robeson, watch his documentary on YouTube. Okay, please. Fela Kuti, watch his documentary. It's called Surviving Fela. It's very hard to find, but if you can find it online, please watch it. And Jack Johnson, he has a documentary on YouTube as well. I think it's almost 3 hours, and it's narrated by Samuel Jackson. Watch that as well. Three powerful figures, things that you guys have done will never be forgotten. And through you guys, I'm still here standing. We only continue the timeline as it goes forward. Nothing less. Salute. You heard?
I love that. I love that. I love that. Well, with that being said, damn, bro, you just blew my mind with all this knowledge. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know where else to go with that. To be honest,
that's why I love documentaries, man. Someone knows I love documentaries. I watch it over and over again because I love history. I love history. So like, especially our history.
Yo,
like,
honestly,
think, like,
I love documentaries.
I don't post it, man. This means a lot to me. It means a lot. Someone knows how much Black history means a lot to me. He knows.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I hope I was able to show that in this episode. I hope I was able to show a glimpse.
I hope you're able to go back. For anybody, because honestly, like I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of beautiful and smart black friends who they all in their retrospect are doing all great things for themselves. Obviously, me and you with our brand, and obviously things you've done before on your own. And I believe that you can. Black people are one of the nicest people you'll ever meet because one, they're always willing to help you out. Two, they're so intelligent in terms of their craft, and three, they're talented. So you can, and I'm not saying other people aren't talented. You know how those people are gonna come out, hey man, like, no, people can never let someone have a moment.
You never win.
And it's ironic. It's ironic because I'm Arab and I'm saying this, bro. So like, but I do want to say, like, all jokes aside, that as Muhammad said, if there is, I know specifically that black people, my black friends, that they would rather you talk to them about certain subjects and don't shy away, because they would rather you not say or not put the wrong information. Knowing Muhammad for so long, like, he even sometimes will have like spontaneous conversations, like Black History Month comes up and he'll even correct me. He's like, no, bro, it's not it. That's a lie. Boom. Like, this is how it went. This is what it is. Trust me, they would appreciate it much more if you're. And again, like, if it interests you, it does. But if it does interest you, go and learn. It's beautiful. You don't know how one idea of someone can help you think of something else. So yeah, I just want to say that.
And people, if you really love this and you want to talk about more black figures, I have so much names.
Hit up Muhammad, bro.
And I know I didn't mention hit up both of us, all right? We can do black culture, Arab culture, whatever culture. It's all about the world. And I know I didn't mention any black figures as far as women itself. Sorry, forgive me about that. If you want some names, Lorraine Hansberry, Eartha Kitt, you got Josephine Baker, Maya Angelou. You got so many figures, different powerful figures.
Well, you know what? Actually, hold on. So,
Nikki Giovanni.
I want to say one thing. So,
it's a lot. Right, we got to end this episode, Osama.
We have to end this episode because next week, so this is episode favorite. Doesn't know, this is episode 55. So when you're hearing this, obviously it'll be the end of February, but the next week episode is a beautiful episode.
Yep.
Somewhat related to this. And we'll make sure that everybody's going to love it. So be tuned.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm really happy and really proud that I'm black. I know who I am. I know where I come from. I know where I'm going. Everyone that's been a part of this culture and a part of this journey that's uplifted our people and that's died for us, whether your name is known or not known, trust me, your name is never forgotten. You are mentioned and thought about, and the likes of myself and others people are trying to bring up where you are and what you've done to where we're going to go to in the future, and we will change the world when it's time, all right? Everything's going to be okay. And thank you so much, Osama, for allowing me to speak about this. Thank you so much for understanding and giving your time. And through people like himself, that's how you build the world, and that's how you connect and do powerful things.
Bro, this is our platform. There's no way I would ever say no. This is our platform. It's not like we're talking about something stupid. This is not.
Osama, end the episode because I gotta go pray, bro. So like, all
right.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll do.
Listen to the platforms. Osama's have to end it. Peace, guys. Peace. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.